So, good day again. Another update for the monitoring system. So, basically, we have added some additional information inside the MikroTik dashboard or details. So, from my previous video, I have actually discussed on how you can obtain remote ports for your MikroTik. And at the moment, you can only save or add one MikroTik per account. Okay, because we have limited slots for our VPN server. Now, so once you have obtained the API and successfully run your VPN from here, okay, once it's connected, you can actually now remote or connect to your MikroTik inside the web app. So just a quick use case scenario for the MikroTik dashboard. So let's try to connect. So I suggest that if connecting to your MikroTik via API, please create a separate account for the API with the privilege read only, or read, not full, not even write, just read. Okay, and then once you did that, you can actually connect to your MikroTik from the connect button. Okay, so as I was saying, these are the information that is newly added to the MikroTik dashboard inside your monitoring system. Okay, we have hotspot active, we have hotspot vouchers, so basically these are users. So we have also triple PoE clients currently online, one, and then we have DHCP clients. So I have included this. This is actually in relation to your MikroTik resources consumption. So basically, this will jibe. So if your current CPU load is 16%, this would justify. Okay, this would justify the current active connections for hotspot and then the current connection for your PPPoE. And then we have also the graph. You can play around with the graph. You can actually select other interfaces or even bridges, network bridges from your MikroTik, as long as it is listed as a interface. So you can actually create or view the statistic or the graph, the bandwidth consumption for that particular interface. So TX is higher than the RX because this is a bridge. Compared to a normal interface, it's kind of like inverted. So once a bridge interface is declared, uh, it is actually the opposite for the RX and the TX. Anyway, it is just for monitoring. So what I mean is that if you take a look, the utilization for the transmit is actually higher than the RX for the bridge interface. But once we transfer or see for a original interface, you will notice that the RX is now higher, or the RX utilization for bandwidth is actually higher from the transmit. Okay, so I didn't know that until I have explored the interfaces. So basically that's it. So if you have multiple ISP, you can actually play around with that, even the wireless interface. So you can actually see. So apparently it is just very minimal or very uh, small amount of bandwidth or traffic. Okay, I think this blank is for the PPPoE client, but once I selected it, it doesn't display any traffic. Okay, so if you are going to uh, see the traffic, please prefer the interface with names and not the blank. Next time I will get rid of this and display only the actual interface with names. So basically for the VPN, I have actually, it's quite a utilization for the connection. So 4 kilobits per second for the VPN, which includes this accessing the MikroTik via VPN. So if you will notice from the logs, so we have actually a log in, log out log transaction from the logs utilizing the VPN. This is actually for the VPN. If you'll notice, this is the address, the VPN address, VPN server address, local remote address for the VPN. You can actually see that from interfaces and then click VPN. Here you see the remote address for the server. Okay, so that is actually the use of this one, the code. So if you examine or notice the code, these are actually the script, or these are actually a TPP account using L2TP for the VPN, and then you have some IDs, and then you have remote radius addresses. Basically, these are all radius. I mean VPN access. We are using as actually WASP for our server. So since we have limited slot, I think we have available like for like 20 ports, excluding my MikroTiks. So in my case, I have only 2 MikroTiks. So I guess uh, we have 18 slots available, and then from 18 slots, I think some clients who are using the monitoring system have already activated their MikroTik. I think 6 of them successfully activated and utilized the VPN account for remote remote access for Winbox and then API, etc. Okay, so for the next time, so since this is gonna be seldom, actually this web is actually being seldom been used. So basically no one uses actually the web. So instead for the web, we will port this port 80 to the window. Okay? So instead for the web peg, we will actually port the port 80 remote access to a particular window. Okay? So that's is the next agenda that I'm trying to solve. So because seldom use of webpeg is actually no one uses actually the webpeg. The only thing that matters is for the winbox, and then for the API for quick access to your MikroTik while inside your monitoring system. Okay, so basically you are not actually limited to connect, or you are not actually bound to use only the server provided for the VPN. You can actually play around with other remote addresses. So if you're something like Uh, okay, so if you have access, something like from other VPN services, Random Bytes, Remote Winbox, as long as your API port is open and then utilizes the default ports of 8728, and then you have a account, which I suggest read-only account, you can actually connect to that particular MikroTik. So again, you are not bound of using only the provided VPN server from the uh, web app or from the monitoring system. You can actually play around with your MikroTik, or even you can even connect if you have your own public IP, and then open the ports or the API using the default port of 8728. You can actually do that. Okay, again, you are not limited of using only the provided VPN server. You can actually gain access to your MikroTik using your own API or your own VPN clients or public IP, etc. Whatever you got, okay? Whatever setup you got. So I think that's it for this time, and then just stay tuned for our updates. So basically, so if you are using uh, uh, MikroTik for your day-to-day transaction, if you have ISP or Wi-Fi vendors using Wi-Fi or MikroTik base, you can actually free to use this. Okay, so basically, setting up is very straightforward. I already have a video for this. Just look back to my previous videos on how to, and then basically you just have to paste this uh, at the end of the script, or at the end of your own login script for your profile for your vendor. So just copy this, for example, and then hit to your hotspot, and then user profiles. If you're utilizing default, you can actually do that, and then paste this at the very end. But make sure you are using the script from GitHub, okay? The latest script from the GitHub, and then just paste this. So everything will work. So once a client log in or inserted coin and successfully log in, that particular amount and user will be captured and be recorded. Okay, so that's it. And good day and thank you.